Good evening, good evening. It looks like we should be all set from this side. Let me just switch over to a different screen for just a second here. Hopefully everybody's doing well. We already have obviously a month under us, over a month and what, 11 days now into fourth quarter. So I know a lot of folks, if you're like me, did have a bunch of sales drops day after day after the 12th. Again, I know everybody isn't able to use the self-similar, but it's like 85%, 90% of those who have done the self-similar, who have made comments, all stated it did something for their store. Some of them had like 4 times the amount of sales immediately after doing self-similar. Sales-wise right now are okay. Title being, they're okay right now, but who knows what's going forward. If you're out in public or you're going out anywhere, make sure everybody can hear me. I don't see anybody saying nope. No, I'm terrible on looking at the feed. But out in public now, they're playing Christmas music everywhere. They're putting up Christmas stuff. Usually they don't do that till after Thanksgiving. Obviously, they're trying to push people to buy and for sales for Christmas, again, because a lot of people understand that you may not be able to get stuff in the mail at the end, and a lot of people are saying Christmas will be busier towards Christmas, but I really think most people have most of their shopping done well in advance, would be my personal opinion. I'm still up in the air on sales-wise, with what eBay's got going on. I don't see any reassuring numbers. Just because my sales are good doesn't mean a vast majority of them aren't. And I still, even though people have been able to do sell-similar and increase them for some people, overall, I'm still wondersome on it. Etsy put out their third quarter numbers. Etsy was up 10 or 12%. Amazon was up 10%, 16 European, and then 10% overall. I think it was 12% US and then 10% overall, something like that on Amazon. eBay's the only one that's down right now, from what I can see. I mean, I've checked out other numbers. I did check out, Discogs, what the company is doing there. They're up too. I mean, everybody seems to be up. Camps, Hip, everything that I look or talk to seems to be like they're moving up. I think Poshmark was up in third quarter, and Macari, however it's pronounced, I think they were up as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're up even farther than 10%, though. Again, I've had a lot of people ask, sales are bad on eBay. What should I do? Should I hop somewhere else? I would not recommend anybody hopping off if your livelihood has been eBay, because if you jump off the platform, it's going to take you time to learn another platform. It's going to take you time to get quantity up. It's going to take you time to get sales. You're already in fourth quarter. We're already month 2, and we're almost to the halfway point on month 2 of a 3-month quarter. I just don't see it a viable means to yank and move and do anything else until it's done. I'm not going to do any major things other than the self-similar every day until the beginning of the year, until after the holidays are all done, in probably second, third week in January. That's when everything will roll out and worry about. I really would recommend just trying to do whatever you can to look at your listings again, adjust some titles. If you're able to self-similar. With self-similar, don't do self-similar if you don't have the free listings, because don't forget, it's going to charge you if you're over your amount. With the store level we have, I can self-similar every single item in my store over, at least one full time, and then another half time with the listings. I think we got, 30,000 in the store now, 30,000 listings, and I think we can do, 75, maybe it's 100,000. Maybe I could actually do them 3 times, I think is what we figured on the store I share. Yeah, I think this store's 3, and it's only 2 in the other one. So, if you've got them, fine. If you look at, the difference, maybe it's $5 difference to go up another store level, you get more options with other store levels. I get nothing from promoting eBay, so don't nobody think that I have anything to do with eBay. eBay's probably not happy with me to begin with, but if you move up a store level, in some cases, you get the extra benefits, business policies, or, other options are there for like bulk sellers that sell and have higher volume. You don't have to be a massive size store to get some of that. I think, what's the store level? I think there's one at $60 or something, maybe, that's has like 50,000 listings or something. Again, I don't have a smaller store level. I don't know what they look like anymore unless somebody sends me a screenshot. So anyway, let's see who's in house today. Looks like maybe I've missed a couple already. Richard, how are you doing this evening, Richard? Hopefully it is going well. Don Harrelson, how are you doing? Hey, Marty, Jiminy, Flip It in the house. Hopefully you're doing well also. The Old Man's Picks. Darius Daughteries. eBay yesterday crashed for about 30 minutes or more. I would say no buying, no selling, shipping page listing. Almost everything was gone for. I wonder when that was. I didn't see anything like that on here, but again, it may have just been a regional aspect. It's hard to say on that one, but I don't remember anything down yesterday. Not saying it didn't happen. Just on our end, we didn't have any issues. Linda Taylor, well, thank you very kindly for the $4.99 super chat. Greatly appreciated. Is that a little lemon dude or something? Can't quite make that out. That's kind of cute. Thank you, Linda. Do appreciate it. Excuse me. I've been talking all day. I'm probably hoarse. Big Deals, General Store, myself, similar experiment, worked fantastic for about 3 or 4 days, but now closer to the air and the dumpster for the reselling. Guess I won't be able to use the 300 coupon for a fancy handbag. If it worked for you to start off with, I would probably, if you've got free listings, do it every, so many a day. We're going to do 1/30th of our store every single day once we get them all done. We're almost up to 2021 now. So I think we got 3 or 4 more days of doing a couple thousand to hit current year, and then we're going to move forward from there. If you can do 1/30th of your store, if you've got 300 listings, do 10 at a time, 10 a day, every day of the week, every day of the month. And that's what I would personally recommend. And I would recommend in some of the categories, if you've limited number of items in your store, a couple hundred, you newer, I would probably recommend looking at some of the item specifics that are recommended and maybe putting some of those in. To know what to do, I would look at some of the items you have up and do some searches and see how easy it is to find your items. And with the items, it may take you 2 or 3 different wording structures just to find your items. I would look at what some of the other items were showing up as well too. So let's say you're looking for a coffee pot, a copper coffee pot. Use as few words as you can. You want to be able to type in copper coffee pot, and that's it, and be able to find your item is what you would want, because the most common search if somebody wants a copper coffee pot is those 3 terms. A brand name may be important too, but if it doesn't show up on the most basic, I would look into it from there. Sometimes I've looked at folks who have newer stores, and the keywords aren't very good. I can tell you honestly. I've seen a lot that if you just had another word or 2 in there, or a different word, or a different phrase, you would have sold the item fairly quickly. I always use the pug dog example because most people who don't know what a pug dog looks like, especially in the paper items, may not understand some of the Victorian styled pug dogs. It's hard to, if you don't know how they drew them, so to speak, you might not realize it's a pug dog or stuff like that. Some of the lithography and chromolithographs, they don't look very much like a dog, specific type of dog, unless you understand what they were doing, I guess. If you miss the word pug in a listing, it won't sell as well. There's a ton of stuff like that, like a specific plane. Like if you've got a photo or a model of a plane and you just put U.S. Air Force a jet and you're not putting the number in it or something, you could miss out as well. There's key factors. There's different variants and so many different things missing it. I looked at somebody's store yesterday. This is somebody I've talked to quite a few times. I don't mind in Patreon. I'll look at specific items. They had a Lily Lido, I think is what it was, the Mexican version of a Star Wars figure in there. They couldn't figure out why the Star Wars figure wasn't selling. And it turned out, they couldn't sell it for $30, it was Han Solo. And it turned out that it was a Mexican version of it. And they added that to the title and sold it for 20 times what they initially had it listed for, because it's a import. It's got the small head version. So not knowing enough or researching your items enough can honestly hurt your sales. I was terrible on keywords. I was terrible on photos. I was, just the whole works when we first started. It was just throw it up, get it up. It should just sell, because when we started, you could pretty much sell anything, throwing up any term or word you want. There wasn't a lot of competition in some areas, and, it was easy to sell stuff back then. But That's been 20, 26, 27 years ago since that started for us. So anyway, let's go back in over here. Drain the Swamp 2.0. They were down, so new algorithm. There shouldn't be any updates or anything going on that I'm aware of. They did do something stupid, really, really, really stupid that annoys the heck out of me as of yesterday. And I think people should start to realize what happened. Your notifications. It used to show when I get 10 offers in, I had 10 separate notifications so I could just click on the one that I wanted. I can't do that anymore. Now it just has a little block and it says 10 offers. So I've got to click on a block, I've got to open something else up, or I've got to go to the hub just to accept those. It's retarded. I can't believe they added another step in for us again. It's a whole nother step. And the same thing with like paids and stuff. I can't see what's been paid. It just says paid 4 items, 5 items. It's just smashed them all together. And I don't see any way to bring it back to the way it was. So now I'm going to have to click on another page. And the page that it takes you to, it looks like the old My eBay page. I don't know what, it has no relations to my hub at all. It's a totally random page that just looks terrible, looks dated. It just doesn't look very, very good, in all honesty. I'm aggravated about that they would change the notifications. I loved the fact that I could just click on the ones that I want without having to go anywhere. I click on one, it opens up. When I'm done with that one, I just click on the next one, that opens up. No. You've got to go to a page. Now you're going to have to go back. So when you accept one, you've got a back arrow or go back to that page again. So there's 2 more steps. There's a step just to get to the page, and now you've got a back arrow twice instead of just clicking a box. So they've added in 3 more steps now that I think about it, just to look at the offers you get coming in. It's ridiculous that they would do that. I might just throw a video up on that for those who haven't noticed that or don't get enough in maybe. Sometimes I'll have 10, 15 offers overnight. I hate that it just says 15 offers. I can't do anything on that page. I can't see what they are. I can't tell if it's something I'm even messing to rush to offer. It's just retarded. It's just another bad move that doesn't help us. It just condenses anything. My only other concern is if they condensed who's paid and your offers, are they condensing it on the buyer side as well when they get an offer? They're going to have to go to another page as well, so it's not just going to hinder us if that's the case, and I bet you it is. So if you send out like 30, 40, 50 offers and 10 of them go to the same person, I bet you now it just says you have 15 offers or something like that. I would be shocked if they didn't do that. Again, look at it next time you get something in. We get a bunch. It's always a bunch. There's 3 or 4 paid or whatever the case may be if I'm looking 10, 15 minutes at a time later. So, leave it sit there and see what happens. I bet you everybody has that rollout now. Again, stupid move. I look back and can't see anywhere where they said they were even going to touch that. Again, why would you add more steps in? It's more... Everything they've done, all these great improvements, has added another step into it. I got to do one more step. I've got to look at 2 more things if I'm going to go through their idiotic way. It's far easier, instead of going to the page that eBay sends you to accept the offers, just to go to... I guess you could open them up in another tab even from that page, but I just like the hub setup, so I'm just going to use the hub to accept offers. It means I can't look at them from a phone practically, because from my phone it lumps them together too. Makes no sense. I don't understand why you'd put another roadblock into it. Every time you put something else in front of a person and buying the item or looking at an item, it's going to make them want to go away. There's a rate that people use. It's called a bounce rate. This is something that's used industrial-wide to judge how good a website is. The traffic, how much traffic they get. The bounce rate goes up when there's more stuff between the buyer and the item. So if they've now got to click 2 or 3 more times, the bump rate's going to go up, meaning that instead of a buyer possibly going to a search and looking at 7 or 8 different items, they're putting more steps into it, so it's taking them longer. So they're only going to look at 4 items in that same time frame. These are real things. You can look it up yourself. It's a bounce rate. It means a person clicks on a listing from a Chrome search or whatever else they go. They land on an eBay listing, and if it doesn't take too long, they might buy it, or they might look at even more items. But if there's a new wall every time they click on something that they've got to click on something else. It's going to turn them off after they got to do this for every listing they want to look at. So I will bet you, I'm going to look into this. I'll bet you $1 million since eBay started this. Every time they put one of these, and their bounce rate has gotten worse. That's what I need to look into. In fact, I'm going to write that down because that's something that I usually look at, and I have not looked at since the 12th. eBay bounce rate. I know that may sound crazy, but if you look at trending, if you look at how a site, keeps traffic once they get it, a bounce rate is really important. And I'll bet you $1 million eBay's bounce rate will be going down. And that would be the deciding factor on how bad eBay has screwed this up in my book. If the bounce rate goes down, I will bet you that most people at eBay, including the people in these departments, don't even know what a bounce rate is. I've talked to the heads of people who run departments, and none of them had IT and understood Chrome and how that was important for eBay items. They were clueless. Clueless means none of them sell on the platform. None of them understand Chrome or Google searching and ranking on Google. It made no sense that they were running the promoted listings department and head of seller services. Made no sense. But anyway, that's who we're dealing with here. I'll look this up, and I bet you $1 million that eBay's bounce rate has gotten worse. There'll be some number that it's gotten worse. I can almost guarantee you. Like putting in requiring payments and that they've got to okay. That's basically a paywall. That's a paywall, and a lot of paywalls turn people off. You've got an account, you would think, again, I know there's a lot of people who want the immediate payment on offers and stuff, but I would say the auctions are far worse because you're waiting 7 days, 10 days just for the item to end, and then they still have 4 days. If somebody does an offer, you're only waiting 4 days. You're waiting more than twice as long at an auction, but yet everybody wanted it on, all those who complain wanted it on offers. I could show you video after video from just every day of the week doing combined shipping that it would hurt us. It would hurt us without a doubt. So it has to be optional. If they make it optional, who cares? I'll be fine. As long as I don't have to have it, I don't care what anybody else has. What do I care what somebody else wants on their store? I just don't want it on mine. Let's see here. Hey, Bob, Mr. Hale, how are you doing this evening? And I got Jackass Retro right down below. Evening to both of you. Darius, eBay may have changed something again. Crash. Okay, I'm sorry. I think I already got past that. Where am I at? ETC. Oh, there goes my feed. Just a second. It's been one of those days today, so hang on. Okay, ETC hosts, how are you doing? Hey, Mr. Lowe, Charles Lowe in the house. Hopefully you're doing well. Big Deals General Store. Hey, how are you doing? Stony Creek Pickers, welcome back. Busy Girl, welcome. Hey, Jeff Loftus. AJI3 Sales, welcome. If you list a hot item, you will get bids instantly. That happened to me on a $1,600 VHS. Yeah, if you list a real hot item, that will happen. Excuse me, I've been talking way too much these last couple days. Rare items, always. Some cases, some people might wait to the very last minute, but the watchers will just be instantaneous. We just did a whole bunch of relists. And several people say, hey, with the relists, to sell similar, you lose all your watchers. If there's watchers, I don't want to lose those. I'll run a sale. If you've had that item up for a length of time and you got a whole bunch of watchers on it, it's probably just a bunch of other sellers or someone curious at what that item may sell for. I see that a lot. I know there's a lot of people who may, watch items because I get people. The first reason I even found out that eBay was telling people that I don't ship to them was from people who, other sellers who were watching my items. So, I know that's the case with a lot of them. What I can tell you, though, with the items, and I looked at this because I had people asking, so I actually been looking into when somebody gives me the same type of questions or, hey, what about this, and I hear it from a whole bunch of people, I want to know because maybe there's something to it and maybe I'm wrong. But I looked into it, and the items that we had a bunch of watchers on, even though we did lose the watchers as self-similar, it instantly had 3 and 4 and 5 more watchers on it. The folks that are true diehard collectors, if you're selling collectibles, chances are, even though eBay trashed their saved searches, they've probably at this point fixed them all up. And when items that they're interested in are listed, it still sends them those notices. If somebody's following my store, it's going to get notices that I've listed new items as well, too. So it gives you all those boosts, not just from that. So the items that we had a bunch of watchers on, that we ended and sold similar, have a bunch of watchers on them again already, pretty much almost immediately. 2, 3, 4 watchers even for some of the items the very first day they went back up. Sales-wise, if I compared the amount of items that are selling because of sell-similar versus what we're selling with new, we're selling more. Now, it's lowered down a little bit because we're starting to get some movement from doing this every day, but we're selling 55-60% of our items are just from the sell-similar, and they're old items, a lot of them, stuff that's been up for a while, and we're getting top dollar for them once again. When we first did it, it was like 85-90% of the items that we were selling were all from sell-similar. So I think it has leveled out where more items, have been updated, where they're not being, pushed back. If you've got like 300 or 400 items in your store, it might be a totally different story. You again do 1/30th of them. 1/30th of your store, I would personally recommend doing a day. If it's 10, 15, fine. If you've got the right store level, again, I can't say what store level has the ability to bulk end 200 listings and then bulk sell similar 200 listings, but our store level does, as well as the store level below me, because I've had several people send me a screenshot showing that they're the same. So I can't tell you other than that. You don't have to do them individually. We do them at 200 at a time, and I can do 1,000. We do 600 in the morning and 400 in the evening, and I can do 1,000 of them in like 15 minutes or less real easily. It doesn't take long when eBay doesn't glitch out. If you saw the video, it glitched out on me live, basically while we were doing it like 5 or 6 times doing it. It's gotten better. I haven't had those same glitches. I still get the glitch where it says it can't delete the 200, but when I go right to on solds again, the 200 listings that I should have deleted are deleted. So it's just another glitch. One more thing on that too. I want to address all the issues that have been brought up. If you do variants, which I don't have any variants in my store, so I have no idea whether it does them to them or not, or if it does it to everybody. The variants it's been redoing. So if you started with a variant of like 10 of each and you sold half of them, it may still, when you sell similar, state you have 10 of each. So just FYI. And then I've had some people tell me that when you sell similar, it reverts your initial quantity of, like, I've got multi-quantity listings. I've got like 700 of them or something. And what they're telling me is what they've had seen, or in the past have seen, is that when you sell similar, it reverts again to the original quantity. Now, I haven't seen that. We've tested, I originally looked at 97 multi-quantity listings. I just relisted those as sell similar on their own, so I could check the quantity. I kept the screen open so I could actually look at the initial quantity and just compare screen to screen and just scroll down and look at them, and all the totals were correct. So I can't tell you anything other than that. Again, if it's not free for you, don't do it. That's all there is to it. If you're new and your items haven't been up for very long, you may not need to do this. You may need to go back in and research your items better. You may need to get better titles, better photos. All that sort of thing creates action on the account. If let's say it's an item that you've got like 5, 6, 7, 8 photos, just switch the photos. You don't have to even take a new one. Just move the photos around. Or download one photo and then crop and do a zoom in on one section. Use a zoom in instead of whatever you had before. That seems to do fairly well if you do them, but it's time consuming is the only problem. It's why I don't mess with those very rarely. I do raise the price of items $1 in 1 month and then lower them $1 an occasion as well too, because it does create action and it does have to recategorize your listings. But sell similar so far has been the best thing I have personally found. Hang on just a second here. I got Charles, Stony Creek. Hey, Nancy. How are you doing, Nancy? Joe Smart, how are you doing? Good evening. Gail Macar, how are you doing? Lucky 7 Auctions, good evening. Oh, I just wanted to shout this out, too. This is something major going on YouTube for those who don't know. As of Wednesday, this coming up Wednesday, they're going to start blocking thumbs down, so no one's going to be able to see thumbs down going forward. So all those people who think it's going to come in and do something, they're all going to be gone. No one will be able to see them but the person who owns the channel. So when those people get attacked and bombed and stuff like that, they won't be posted anymore. So you'll never see the negative, the thumbs down on a video anymore going forward. As per YouTube, they just announced it in the last couple of days. It's something they talked about last month, but Dom even sent me a notice on it too. Dom, Primetime Treasure Hunter, of course. RV Butterfly, how are you doing? How are you doing? Manu Paparagana, hello, how are you doing? Aloha from Hawaii. I've got quite a few people from Hawaii that come on. Dana L., I was able to use the Sell Similar once I went through using Google Chrome. I'm not sure on that comment there. I don't really understand what you're trying to say on that one. Thank you, Darius. My sales are horrible. RV Butterfly. I don't know if you've tried the Sell Similar. Again, I can't say it's going to work for everybody, but that's been the biggest thing I've been hearing is sales have been horrible. Mostly collectibles and vintage. I've had some clothing sellers that have told me they've been doing fairly well, and people selling like used video games and households and stuff are doing fairly well. Yeah, I households, video games and stuff being sold used are because of the pandemic in my book. It's necessities to some extent. So I think those will continue, just as I've said before. Collectibles, I think they'll continue, but as of right now, it's feasible that, with the limited amount of people working and stuff like that there could be people not buying as many collectibles just to get the Christmas stuff, their Christmas items or needed necessities right now. I think it'll change, of course, but again, no need to bail on eBay. I've never, ever told anybody to quit eBay over something. I take it as a roadblock, but when eBay does hit a certain percentage of our revenue, I am going to leave. Just FYI, because it won't be viable because of the limited amount of funds. When it's down to 25% of our reselling revenue, I'm probably just going to leave it and just be done. Because if I can make 75% elsewhere, if I remove that last 25% off of eBay, I'll have more time. And that time, even though I may only get 10% of that back from somewhere else, I'll gain a heck of a lot of time having to deal with all this crap that I'm forced to do on a daily basis with eBay. So there's coming a time when eBay won't be, my preferred choice for any of this stuff as things progress. Other sites are taking up some of the slack, and eBay they're just penny pinching and going after specifics that are so narrow to the people. They're cutting off the low-valued buyers, which means I'm a low-valued seller as well as pretty much anybody out there. eBay considers you low-valued and not even worth advertising for. I do see, too, they've stopped advertising. If you've followed some of the posts I've had, some of the videos, they've literally said that. This isn't me just making up something. The CEO literally said they cut back on it. They're pushing for high top funnel, which means expensive crap, the expensive purses, the expensive shoes. What else do they have? Expensive watches. They're only pushing for high-end stuff when there's far better high-end sites that most people trust far better than eBay. Again, I'm not trying to just bash on eBay, but this all plays into what's going on with everybody's sales right now. A lot of folks, the sales problems, your sales issues there, your bottleneck is eBay. I hate to say it, but that's the case. It's just terrible decision after terrible decision after terrible decision. So if you're enjoying the conversation, please hit that thumbs up. I got 256 people in house and 65 thumbs up on the video. GEJP, my sales are dead lately. Listing like crazy. Mine tanked, Dana. Bob Hale, my sales are up. I am doing the sell similar process, but I am also increasing the listings from 1 item a day to 5. Hang on, let me slide down. Hopefully it doesn't get lost. 5 a day. My money day is up $1,100. That's very good, Bob. Very, very good. That's a good number. Excuse me. I'm sorry. The sell similar does work if you split it up. It may not work every time you do it if you've got a limited quantity. I'm doing like 2,000 a day, 3,000 a day on some days. My slowest day, I'm only doing 1,000. I'm doing a large quantity of items, so even if I only get 5 or 6 sales from that, that's still a decent chunk considering with 30,000 listings up. Especially if it's older items. I'm fine because we're still selling a few items still, and it added 5 or 10, 15 or 20 we've even had on some of these sell similars just from 1,000 listings. Again, it depends on what you're selling. I mean, I can't speak for what everybody's selling, but overall, I'm telling you, it's I pay attention. I want to know if the information's helping a good chunk of people. It's like 85%, 90%. You can look at the comments yourself on the specific video about it. And again, I would say that's a legitimate percentage. Yeah, Nancy's talking about the Etsy ads. eBay's not advertising except for the expensive crap. And I used to hear commercials on I don't listen to the radio anymore, but once in a blue moon I used to listen to the radio and I could hear commercials for reselling stuff. But, I've had everybody tell me there's nothing on the radio, there's nothing out there, no TV commercials, no nothing. All the other ones are going to whomp on eBay. It makes no sense to cut off advertising during the Christmas season. when you want people to buy from you and you want to push it the most, you want to pick it when it's the busiest time of the year. Why on earth would you do it at any other time? They had $5.1 billion in stock buybacks. So they bought back over $5 billion of their own stock just to line their own pockets and increase their profit share. And instead of investing any of that into pushing, eBay could have spent $1 billion on advertising and probably had one of the biggest advertising campaigns right now for everything. eBay's lost the ball. Instead of telling people that they sell everything, we sell everything you could think of. That would be the best approach. When you log out of the page, it's just pushing watches, expensive $5,000 watches, $5,000 shoes, $5,000 purses, $5,000 trading cards. Those 4 categories are everything. That's pretty much my whole splash page when I first sign in if I have no data sitting there. So it's telling people that that's not, we don't sell them. But these types of things, it's going about the wrong angle. They're totally just, again, I hate to keep using the wacky waving arm guy, but that's what it is. I think if fourth quarter goes the way it's possibly looking right now, this new CEO might not be there in a year. We may be lucked out and have somebody at least with half a brain next time instead of no brain. So, maybe it's a good thing that it tanks. I hate to say that, but they have to wise up, man. This is just not looking good unless their whole goal is to sell the platform, which I would have said never would have been a thing in the past. But, man, I don't know about the decisions they're making these days. The changing of the notifications really bugs me. Every day it's something on eBay. So now I've got to go all these extra steps. It drives me nuts. Who would want that? Who would want everything jumped together where you can't see what you're getting? I don't know. It's just going backwards. On Amazon, I get posts for anything. I get to see everything. I get to see what's going on. And Etsy, it's the same thing. But even on Hip, I get a notice that I can break down and look at each one separately. I don't have to sit there and click buttons just to see what's coming in. I don't want to see 15. I want to see the 15 items that are offered or whatever the case may be. Let's slide down and get to some. I know sometimes I'm bad on getting to everybody. There's Poshmark price crash. They underperformed as far as I can tell. I hate to look at but I swear I heard the merchandise, the amount sold was up on Poshmark, but I could be wrong. I'm going to take 1 second to see because I'm curious on that one. Net revenue were in third quarter, which was 16% growth. Net revenue was $79.7 million in third quarter of 2021, which was 16% growth, or 59% growth on a 2-year basis, was driven by 17% growth. So they're 16% up on third quarter Poshmark. So it's not just 10%. eBay's down 10%. So if you want to compare like eBay to Poshmark, eBay's down 26% over what Poshmark's percentage of increase. We're not talking about volume. I'm not talking about stocks. I'm talking about actual volume, dollar to dollar volume on the platform. So Poshmark, literally, the third quarter was up 16%. eBay's the only one that's down so far. I'm telling you, they're messing this up really bad. The person running the company doesn't have a clue. They should not be down in third quarter. Not during a pandemic, not when every other platform is performing. Wall Street doesn't care, so you keep seeing eBay's prices up because eBay is still producing more and more revenue from us. Keep that in mind. Everybody needs to understand that. That's why I complain about that a lot, because they're taking more of our money, but we're getting less service from it. I don't know anybody else in their right mind who would let somebody give you less service if you had a choice and make you pay more. I know the post office is doing that as well too. It bugs me to no end that they do that stupid stuff. There was ways the post office could be viable and make a profit, even though I know not what the post office is not there to make a profit. But the point is they could. Have them do banking or something. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff the post office could do and still hire more people. It could be a big win. But anyway, we're not going to go there. Let's see what else we got going on. Linda Taylor, well, thank you very kindly as well. Everybody else is advertising. I've seen an Amazon ad online, too. I've seen a Poshmark, Etsy. I've seen more of like Etsy than I ever have of eBay. Again, they had $5.1 billion to invest in commercials. $1 billion of that would have been all. They could have just still invested $4.1 billion into something, they're buying their stocks back and still invested $1 billion into pushing advertising. The CEO, the Walmart CEO running eBay, is looking at the numbers and thinking, how can I increase revenue at all cost? That's what they're doing. That's all they're doing. Again, that wavy, whacking arm guy is flapping all in the wind again. That's what they're doing. He doesn't know what to do to fix it. Again, he's the only reason he got it. Again, these are all my opinions, is because he's the only one who would take it, because the last CEO was forced out over the attacks on the Steiners at e-commerce bites. There's no other way around it. Guys shouldn't be running the platform. Look at the numbers. If fourth quarter looks like third quarter, he needs to go. He needs to go quick. He needed to go from day one, but that's again my opinion on that. But where are we at? Sales up, did the self-similar thing. Stony Creek Pickers, sales are up. He did the self-similar thing as well. I didn't create the self-similar thing. I know there's a lot of other people who have done it in the past, but until they've changed categories, it may not affect you. When they do the next run of categories, if there's any left, I'm sure there are. I only know the ones that I've done and had to deal with in the past. The same thing will be true. You'll have to do self-similar on categories once they update and change all these search criteria. I'm going to put this out there because I think this is beyond my opinion, but this is opinion. I truthfully feel that eBay's fine with everybody not knowing that a self-similar would work, or everybody not knowing anything. I think, personally, my opinion, the whole aspect of everything they're doing is to get people to think that they need to do promoted listings, because that's where they're telling Wall Street they're going to get all their money from going forward. Again, opinion based on word for word what the CEO has said in these interviews on CNBC or whatever the channels are that I've seen him on. I truthfully at this point think that, again, eBay says sell your item quicker on your listing tab in the hub. The first option is promoted listings. The sell similar should be under there to refresh. They should tell people what sell similar does. If they really wanted to help us, they would tell us how to get sales coming in without being forced to pay them more money. If they really wanted to do good, they'd get more people buying on the platform instead of, again, forcing us to pay more money. It all comes down to us. They're making more and more off of our backs, and whenever you call them, they blame it on you for whatever it is. I've got 3 examples from the last 3 times I called and had to discuss anything with eBay were straight off the bat. And I've even shown videos. You can see some of them. I've even posted word for word their screenshots of their text to me blaming us for all the stuff that was clearly eBay's fault. So again, none of this helps us at all. We're going backwards, it seems, with eBay as opposed to going forward. I don't know anywhere else where they're going to put more steps in front of you to do anything. And try to list jewelry these days. Oh my gosh, there's so many recommended and item specifics. There's like 67 to list a ring now, or some screwball number of them. It's a horrendous amount. And they tell you to fill in as many as you can think will apply to your item. Oh my gosh, that's just crazy how much work we have to do to get a $20 thing up. That's why I say when eBay hits 25% of my total reselling revenue, it's not going to be worth it. I can go somewhere else and save all that time. 90% of the time I have to deal with crap like this is all eBay. So if I cut out that 90% and I'm only losing, say, 15% of my revenue, 90% of my time can go into boosting sales anywhere else I want. So, eBay is just shooting themselves in the foot. Again, I don't wish that upon eBay at all. I wish they were a good site, because as of now, we still make almost 40% of our revenue from the platform. At one time, it was 100%. I don't wish ill harm of eBay at all. The people running it are idiots. And it's been that way for a while. Hey, May A, how are you doing? Vintage Vagabond Vens, welcome as well. Let's see where we at. Well, thank you, JEGP. Hey, Michelle, how are you doing, Michelle? Hopefully things are going well on your end as well. Hey, Candace Hammer in the house. Manu Pegaragon. I'm sure, again, as I said, I probably butchered that. Lee Fuller, welcome. eBay was down 3 to 5. Am I off again on my feed? Yesterday. Yeah, we were on 3 to 5. I can tell you for sure, without a doubt, at least Eastern Standard Time. What would that be, Pacific? You're 3 hours off. Yeah. Somebody was probably on here too. Somebody listed yesterday, one person or another, maybe even 2 at the same time, probably from like 9:30 in the morning on. Nobody said they there was any issue. Again, this thing can happen regional too. I don't really know on that one. It was in the evening. Yeah, I don't. Yes, eBay was down. I watch you a lot. Thanks, you Kino Revels. Yes, good evening, Candace. I'm going to try and get down and see here where we can get how quickly. I know I yap way too much sometimes. That wise Yogi, how are you doing? Well, glad to have you in for a live one, for sure. Infinity Comics, welcome, welcome. I do love comic books. Yeah, that's always been one of my things. I love Golden Age the best, honestly. Stardust Memories, howdy as well. Bud Drinker, welcome, welcome. Two Glassy Sisters, how are you doing? I don't know if you're local here. That name sounds like a local person for some reason. Rich, how are you doing, Mr. Sanders? I always think of The Matrix whenever I think of Mr. Sanders. Anyway, my eBay store I thought was dead until I seen your video. Well, I'm glad hopefully that helped you as well. Candace is perking along on sales with the self-slimmer, so it's working for her as well. Again, I can't tell you it's going to work for everybody, but it honestly does work. There is a noticeable routine amount of sales, watchers, the ability to send offers to watchers in general, and views right off the back. It totally almost quadrupled our numbers just overnight. My chart is like dead on the 12th, and then from there on up, from the 28th when we started it, it's like a level straight shot up. Not level, but it's like the same amount or higher every single day. The only thing I wish eBay did on that, your chart, is instead of posting them on the day they pay, is just show your sales for the day, whether they were paid for or not. I like to know that number, honestly, better, because now I have to go and check. I check our sales every day of the week. Last thing I do in the evening when I shut everything down is I check what the sales were just for that day. It would just be nice to be able to look at a graph and instantly see, instead of having to go, again, another step to another page. But, you know, they're not sellers, the people who make all this crap up. They don't know what the best thing would be for us. Martha A. Somebody's saying, Martha's saying that they sent on a Reddit page that they were going to be working on it on Tuesday and Thursday. I didn't see a thing. I usually look at their page. There's a page they post if something's going on. And they're supposed to send a notice when they're doing stuff that's supposed to affect the site, at least from what I understand. I want to say there's supposed to be a notice. I want to say, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm almost sure this was something I read. In California, there's a law that says you have to post a notice if services offered to the public is going to be down, if you know it in advance. And I could be wrong, but I'm almost sure there's some kind of ruling that says you have to give notice if people are going to be impacted by a routine outage. They'll tell you email will be down at like the university or something on such and such a day, or they post a sign that says this bridge will be down on such and such a day, weeks in advance. I'm almost sure there's something that eBay is required to do for that. Could be wrong, but that just sounds like that's something they're supposed to do. Just in time flipping, how are you doing? I don't like the word hoarders as much as I am obsessed. I don't mind being called obsessed and a nut job when it comes to eBay, but the hoarders one, it's all back stock. You know, no disrespect to you, I get your point, but you know, I hear people call us hoarders a lot, and to some people it's offensive. Not to me. I don't care, but I'm not trying to again criticize you at all. But it's back stock. I would rather have a building full of stuff that I can turn into cash as time goes by than not, you know. And if something does happen and, you know, there's nowhere to go, or the pandemic crashes or something and you can't go shopping anywhere, I've got so much merchandise I could care less if, you know, again, I care about other folks, but I mean, from a business standpoint, I don't have any concerns. I can grab something different any day of the week. I'm not trying to laugh, but I've got so much. Can you see this? Okay. This is all that was scanned in a day right here from one person scanning. There's, I want to say this is 1,700 listings worth of stuff right here. And they're all bagged. numbered so we know where they're at on the chips. Somebody's already listing these, so before they've even finished the first half of this. And again, these are massive amounts of cards. This is just what we scanned. This is, again, they're all ready to go. They're all ready to go. Look at how many's in there. There's probably 300 cards in this bag. And again, this is all stuff to list. It's all stuff to list. This is just what I've got prices going on. Merchandise is never bad to have. We want to talk about, these are all buttons up there that are ready to list. There's probably 500-600 buttons in here. Some of them have prices on them. I don't know how well you can see them, but some of these are priced, some of them are not. But I've got several people going through these. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of inventory. I would, if it's cheap, and it's summertime is when I buy so much stuff. I don't buy anything during the winter at all, hardly. Almost never, because it's so much more expensive. So I would say if you want to do so, hoard up. Hoard up if that's what you want to use for the term in the summer when it's cheap. When businesses buy, they buy a year or two in advance for Christmases. They buy well in advance because it's cheap. If you buy in advance, you can buy in bulk, you can buy it cheap. If you're going to do wholesale, if you want to be a wholesale seller and sell bulk wholesale, I've showed some items just the other day on a Patreon page, which I will separate so you don't have to watch the whole video, but there's a lot of stuff out there you can wholesale right now with the pandemic. If you target and key in certain specific things, you can do extremely well with wholesale items. Again, if you've listened on some of the other conversations, if you have a good relationship with your bank and the wholesaler, you can get merchandise fronted, $5,000-$10,000 worth of merchandise for 30 days, where you don't have to pay for it for 30 days. You could theoretically, and we have, sold enough to pay for the item, so you've never shelled out a dime of your own money, but yet you took possession of $5,000 worth of merchandise and had enough sold within the first 30 days to pay it back when your bill is due, 30-day cycle payment. So anyway, I know that's off topic, but hey, Mr. Elmore, Steve Elmore, how you doing? Another fellow channel there. Things are doing okay, Steve, as well as can be expected. You can check out Steve as well. Busy girl. Again, thanks, Steve. Busy girl, updated item specifics 43 again, working on similar, small store, got 2 sales, yes. Again, if it's a small store, you may only get a couple sales from it. But look at what's selling. If you want to see if it works, look at what's selling. The items, you can instantly see the list date on them. You should know at least your inventory enough to know where it falls in your I can kind of guess where I put bin numbers in my titles. And I know everybody says, don't do that. You should blah, blah, blah. Don't do it. It's so much easier to tell where I'm at in my inventory, what goes along with stuff when that number is there. So when I want to search off to see where items list, where they fall, what's selling, because if you watch eBay, your sales, you're going to see where you're going to sell a whole bunch of items from like a certain listing time frame all at the same time. And it may not even be like when they auto relist. It's just some random time. So eBay is like filtering what part of your store is shown at what time, it almost looks like to me. Again, just like some of the other folks who do feel eBay only allows certain sellers to make so much money before your sales start to go back down. I've seen stuff enough to say that I do think that's possibly the case. Yeah, I got you there, Steve. I figured. No big deal. D. Fuller, I feel invisible. If you've got it again, I would just go through your store if you're having issues with it and look at your titles, look at your images. Title, image, and price are like the foundation of any listing out there. If one of those things has changed, it's going to recategorize you as well. Sell similar is really quick is the only reason that's our best and first line right now. If it stops working or it slows down, then we'll go back in and do some other stuff. But as of right now, sell-similar is all I'm worried about. I still haven't even done a sale in my store at all in like more than a month or so. Now, we didn't even run a sale when our stuff dropped at that point. But I will run a sale just to see if that's going to allow us to get over a certain point in sales. And if the sales, I still can't bust past a certain amount, that seems to be what we're stuck at, I'm going to assume for without a doubt that it's got to be eBay gating people off and trying to split up sales between a bunch of people. I don't think it should be gated. And again, I think some of that, again, has to do with promoted listings and them wanting more money from us. Opinion, but I really, seriously, if I looked at the aspect that all of this engineering and changes have been done just to get more money out of promoted listings, the factual, if I had to do it as scientific study-wise, there's more information to back up the fact that eBay is intentionally doing it than not. It all seems to fall right in line with, predictable structure of them, throttling people when they're starting to make too much money. That does honestly feel like what they're doing. Again, I'm not just trying to bash on eBay all day, but this affects all of our money, our pocketbooks. So it's my business. This isn't a personal attack. This is a business. If I was eBay's boss, I'd be telling them way worse than this. I'd have fired the CEO and a couple other people too and got rid of all the Walmart people from eBay if it was me. And I think anybody who comes in after this guy gets canned at some point, again, opinion, I think they should, clean house of any Walmart people out there. Anybody this guy brought in needs to go when he goes. Every one of them. I don't care who they are or what position they're at. They all need to go. They're all his buddies. Bye-bye. That's my opinion. That's what I think needs to happen, though. Let's see. Where's Don Harrelson? Would you join eBay now if you have been away for years and do okay on other sites? Is eBay still a good option, or stay away and stick with the growing platforms? We've always been on eBay since eBay was called eBay, like the first year. I personally would give eBay a shot, and I'll tell you why, and only why. The only thing that matters, let me put it this way. If I'm going to waste time on a site, it has to have traffic. If I go and look at trending and look at traffic reports, their bounce report, like I said before, eBay's bounce report, I almost guarantee you is going to get worse. If I look at their bounce report, amount of page views and stuff like that somebody who lands on the site looks at, I look at their numbers, the amount of, percentages and sales. I look at the numbers. eBay still has the traffic. Traffic it comes down to. I don't want to go to a site that doesn't have much traffic. Somebody asked me about eBid the other day, and I have not heard much good stuff about eBay with traffic. So I did look at traffic and stuff. Traffic reports, site traffic reports are hugely important to me. If the traffic is bad and I'm investing hours of my time, I'm not going to get a return out of my investment if I only sell 1 or 2 items a month out of that other platform. So for me, it'd be far better to be aggravated and to have to deal with figuring out what other ways I can stop eBay from screwing me, invest time doing that, because I will in the end run still get better sales on eBay for the most part. When they're not doing this stupid stuff. Again, if we compared eBay's sales for third quarter, we're not talking about dollars. We're talking about volume, dollar for dollar, actual revenue from items selling. eBay's down 26% compared to Etsy. Or was it Poshmark? Poshmark. In Etsy, it's the same thing. Etsy was at least 10% up in third quarter, so they're down 20% compared to Etsy. eBay should be up that same 10%. It's not just down 10% like eBay tries to blow it off. Well, it's only 10%. They're actually down 20% because they should have projected at least a 10% increase. When I worked in restaurants, I was a regional. I did, at one point it was like 40 some odd stores. We would do projections and stuff. Every store on every market I had should have been up at least 3 to 5% every year. Year over last should be up at least 3%. You need to keep growing revenue, and eBay is no different. So no matter what, eBay isn't just down 10%. They lost the year over last increase that they should have had, that every other platform out there that resells has. And they're down on top of not gaining any ground. They're down 10%. Again, they did make more money from us, but that's not a sustainable model. You can't just keep getting more money from the people who get you your sales and getting less sales. It's not going to work. It's only going to last so many years before the model crashes, the site crashes. I don't know how they can't understand that numbers. And the CEO is blowing this off as transition as they transition into high-end this and high-end that, but they're turning off so many people because most people they're not advertising the vast amount of stuff you can find on eBay. Anything your heart's desires you could find on eBay, but you'd never know it by looking at the landing page. On Amazon, no matter what, you see all kinds of stuff on the landing page. And for eBay trying to mimic Amazon, they're doing a terrible job. It's even terrible for trying to mimic Walmart. I mean, the structure is similar, but the thought out is just terrible. I would recommend still trying, Don. If you've done it before, you at least have it in, you know it. So you don't have to try another site. If you're on other sites, you can cross-list and things like that. One thing I should say too, and I'm hit up all the time on cross-listing apps, if the app does not auto-sync your items from one platform to another, don't use it. Don't use any apps. And people bring up lists perfectly. They've asked me to promote it. I don't promote stuff that I don't use. I don't promote stuff that doesn't auto-sync. Unless they've changed it, it doesn't auto-sync as far as I am aware at all. I know a lot of people promote it in channels. They're getting commission off of that whenever you see them talking about it and you click one of their links. It's not a viable thing in my book. If you want to be a lifelong seller and you want to have volume so you can sell all kinds of stuff, you got to be able to sync it. I don't know, man. I could probably give you the names of 100 people that have used one of these apps, not just that one, but other ones, to get their items on other sites, and they forgot to take something down. They missed something because they have to take it down every night from 3 or 4 sites if you're on 3 or 4 sites, and they've missed items. When they missed items, they canceled them. They got a negative feedback. It hurt their ratings. A bunch of stuff can happen if you miss quantities or miss and don't sync your stuff. So don't sync stuff from one site to another if that's an issue for you. I won't do it. I will not sync without having, I will not list somewhere else, cross-list, without having a sync. It's essential. If you double sell something, it's going to hurt you. It's negative feedback or who knows what else. You're going to lose a buyer. And anything you can do to alleviate any aggravation towards your buyers is what you want to do. A buyer right now has to click and do more steps to see your items. Once they get to your items, you want to be as nice and as helpful as you can humanly be. You know, I help a lot of people. I have people ask me questions unrelated to selling that are potential buyers, and I always respond to them. I don't respond to people on my eBay store who ask me stuff about YouTube. I never ever respond to anybody because it's my place of business, and I don't go to your place of business to do it. So please do not email me on eBay about anything on YouTube. I get them. I usually don't respond to any of them because it's not appropriate in my book. But anyway. Mr. Hot Wheels, how you doing there? Good to see you in house too. I have a premium sub, $60 and get 50K. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I think that's the one right below what I have. I've gotten, a few people sent me a few screenshots. So if you've got, 15, 20,000, I know a lot of people don't have it, so I'm not trying to say everybody, but if you've got, even a 400 or 500 listings, I think there's a $19.99 option that would allow you to do more stuff. I like the features, or most of the features, in the hub. So I hated I didn't used to hate it, but my eBay used to be like the go-to place. But once I saw the features in the hub's where I go or would want to go for anything. Just to get the hub, it would be worth me paying an extra $5 or $10, I would say, probably too. Just to get the features like automation. That automation feature is awesome. Being able to turn off my listings from auto relist is a good feature too. Oh, one more thing. I showed in the video too that I have my stores, all my store categories shown on the left of all my listings. I was told and shown a screenshot from somebody, thank you, whoever that was. I'm sorry, I don't remember who because I get so many, but that eBay was stating that feature is not available anymore. You cannot add your store categories to your listings like I show in that video anymore. Why would you do that? Why would eBay take another way where a buyer could see your items in your store instantly? Again, they've totally removed interlinking access between stuff. If you're in your store and a buyer clicks on one specific category to see those items, he can't go from that category to any other category. He has to back out and then pick a whole nother category. Again, these are all one more step. That's why I say eBay's bounce rate, I bet you'll be terrible by the end of this year if it isn't already, just because of what they're doing with these steps. A bounce rate is key. If a person only clicks on 7 different links from first clicking on eBay, okay, here, let's start from the beginning. If somebody's on Chrome and they click on something that takes them to an eBay listing, On average, say a site may have a 7.5 page bounce rate. That means they may click 7.5 different links before they leave. In the past, they may have been able to get to 5 or 6 listings in those 7.5 page clicks. If there's another page in between those, like a paywall, that means they're only going to be looking at 2 or 3 pages before they possibly bounce. So that's why that number means something. And I will bet you that the key people at eBay probably don't even know about that. The people that should be making the decisions, or maybe even are making the decisions, never even looked at what a bounce rate is. Look it up for yourself. It's an important number. It means that if a bounce rate is really low, that means that there's somebody may be looking at 50 pages before they leave the site versus they're only looking at 2. I want the bounce rate that has the 50 pages looked at, not where somebody's thrown in a firewall where you got to click here, another option where I have to click here first before I can even click on what you're sending me. I mean, it just, again, it's going to kill their bounce rate. When a bounce rate gets killed, it also kills other aspects of them. So it may kill trending abilities. It may kill, just sheer showing on Chrome. I mean, there's so many issues that could be viable. If eBay's bounce rate is worse than a bunch of other sites selling the same item, which ones do you think Chrome is going to show? They're going to show the one that garners the most interest because the bounce rate, and Amazon or Chrome's going to be the one, Google's going to be the one who knows what the bounce rate is, because they're tracking. eBay should know those numbers too. But so again, that's what we need to look at. We need to look at the bounce rate. Kino Rebels is saying he sells just about everything. I sell most everything, and I know people say, well, you don't sell this, you don't do that. Just because I don't show something doesn't mean I don't sell it. The only things I do not sell are clothing, unless it's some real neat vintage. I don't do clothing. I don't do video game systems, new ones. I don't do PS3, PS4, any of that stuff. And what's the other thing? There's one more thing. Oh, high-end electronics I don't do either. If I get high-end electronics, chances are I'm yanking them apart and selling them for parts. And that's it. I don't sell them on eBay anymore at all. Those items there are ones where there's high scam rate, high return rate, just overall many, many issues. So I stay away from items that have issues. You can sell anything you want, so if something gives you issues, just sell something else. Don't do it cold turkey. To go slowly, work in other items. There's nothing wrong with selling everything. I can say, though, in most cases you will do far better selling everything, but also having a certain percentage of your store a niche, a specialty items, or a whole bunch of items in the same category, because you'll get your repeat business, return customers, multi-item purchases, and all that kind of stuff. If eBay kills your sales and doesn't show you to as much, you're still going to have those same people that routinely come back because you've got what they want. If you're selling one-offs, you don't get that extra push. So again, I may have better sales than someone else who doesn't do that just because of those reasons. Plus extra, I do good customer service. So again, if you're enjoying the conversation, I got 316 people in-house now, 141 thumbs up as of now. I know it's something I forget, but if you're enjoying it, please slam that thumbs up for me, please. Show some love to the channel. Yeah, I know it's a logarithm, go honest. I did say a logarithm as far as I am under my impression. I've got an IT degree. I've written some myself, so just FYI. Just in time. Just in time's asking him if he saves really good items. There's a lot of stuff. I would always recommend stashing stuff aside. We've got items that I would keep if I never have to worry about selling them, and they're pulled. I've got items that I like looking at, so they'll sit in inventory for a while, never get listed for months on end. If it's not working, it's not working. So even if you have some killer items, it may not get you real good sales if eBay isn't showing your items. Any advice on Zenoscope Z-rated books selling on eBay? I'm not sure what Zenoscope Z-rated books are even at all. Kernacci's Connections, my sales are killing it right now. Mine are too because of Sell Similar, and we're crushing sales right now. I figure we lost around $5,000 because of eBay from the 12th through the 28th. That's the amount I figure eBay cost us. If I can make it up, I'd be very happy. So we've been hammering the store really hard this past week or so, more than a week, probably the last 10 days, just to get those sales flush back coming in. Even though it's not my fault, it's eBay. eBay did whatever they did. I don't like to be down. So again, I've taken it as a challenge, and we've done a lot of extra work, extra listings and stuff that we wouldn't normally do this heavy just to pull it back up. So I finished the year over last at a real good number is what I'm looking at. That's my goal anyway. Let's see here. Eric Hughes, eBay has turned into a very bad RPG from the 80s. Yeah, that's a good analogy, I would say for sure. Candace, I dream of 15 offers. I'm working up to this future. It depends on what you list. If I get 15 offers from somebody, it's like items. They're in a niche every time. I mean, why else would or like if I had 15 shirts, similar shirts. My dog is down here. I'm sorry. I have the hair floating around already. They're all from the same category if I'm getting 15 offers, or from the same company or same business, or the last name's the same. That's how you get that kind of offers on items like that. Usually if I get that many from one person, I'll still have a bunch others as well. I mean, I've had days where we've had, I'm no exaggeration, like 110 offers that I had to accept in a morning. Those are like $5,000-$6,000 days in all honesty. And I've had my fair share of those. There's a company in San Francisco. It's an art business. They're in the phone book. It's a fairly big company, but they sometimes come in and buy thousands of dollars worth of inventory, and they literally wiped out like one whole category once before too. But it's an art studio, and they do like they repurpose them. He asked for a special order once, the guy who owns it, and he wanted 500 of these reveal hands, which are Victorian calling card hands. I have like thousands of those, so it was no big deal. But I put him up just for him, and I asked him what he was doing with them, and he was creating something where each one would use a vintage these die cuts, and it was a good sale for us. It was like $575. I let him have them for a real good deal, but big bugs. Yeah, Big Bugs is talking about his opinion, not. It's hard to say. Personally, I think eBay, traffic-wise, depends on what you sell, is the far better choice. I have had a lot of people say Poshmark is far better on clothing for the younger generations. Most young people don't go to eBay anymore, so it depends, I guess, on what you're selling. I've seen people who have an eBay store and a Posh store that do cross-list and sync, and their sales are more on Posh. So I can't say it's not the preferred choice, but the more places you have your stuff on, the better off you will be. The bigger you can have your footprint, the better you're going to be. If you've got the same items on 5 different sites, you've got way more opportunity on someone buying them. Who cares what site it's sold on? Who cares? I don't see any loyalty anymore to a specific. This is a company. This is a business that I'm running. I don't see any loyalty that I need to provide to any other business at this point, other than some of the like my pickers or something. That's totally different. But eBay doesn't treat me as if I'm special at all, or does anything to help us. So at this point, I can't hold loyalty to somebody who doesn't look out for my well-being. So that's how I look at it. Go wherever you can, but get your footprint as big as you can. Again, there's a cost factor in a listing on other sites, don't forget too, or some other sites. I know Facebook, I think, is still free to list whatever you want on there, if I'm not mistaken. Let me slide down here. My feed sometimes goes haywire. Hang on, it just lost where I was at again. Hang on, where am I at? I'm sorry, my feed's like all over the place today. I was trying to respond to somebody. Just-in-time flipping. I never promoted items and refused to give eBay extra money, but I bit the bullet and tried 5.1% to shake the store up. I would say I'm easily doing triple on a normal day. See, that just tells me that eBay's intentionally hiding it, again, my opinion, just so they can force you to promote your items. That's all I can see at this point. If you're giving me those kind of numbers on just random items, I can't see it any other way. eBay's definitely hiding listings just so they can funnel them through promoted is the only way I can see it. Royal, elderly people will get confused. Just not people who aren't up on computers are going to get confused too. Yeah, just-in-time flipping. Everyone's store runs differently. 100%. 100%. I'm just surprised that much of a difference in promoted listings. Again, no one would have said that in the past, so I really think that's the whole game here. The Hub. Good day back at you there from Australia. Stone Sullivan. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be running any company like that. I like my own boss, my own business. I'd rather make far less money than have to deal with something like that. Thank you, Candace. Let's see here. Darius. Listed rare item in under an hour, had 9 watchers, a lot of views, and sold soon after. Yeah, you can save search results. So that's why, again, if you list in niches and stuff, you're going to do extremely well because of that. People save search results. No one's saving a search result for a specific pair of underwear. You can just any day type it. So if you're selling household goods, everyday items, there's nobody saving a search result for those for the most part. It's just not going to happen because they can get those items anywhere. That's why the price matters. You can't overprice. You can't do, charge extra shipping and all that stuff on a lot of household daily usable items. It just doesn't work that way. So, like just-in-time flipping was saying, every store works differently. My store, I don't need any of that aspect to it. It's just going to take the right person seeing it at the right time. Yeah, Candace is saying she doesn't worry about the watchers either. I don't worry about watchers. I just sell similar. If they were interested, they're going to come back to it anyway. There'll be more people, so there may be even more competition where it may sell higher on sell similar in my book. I'm never going to worry about that again unless eBay changes the search results again. We've changed our business up I don't know how many times because of changes eBay has done. When eBay does a change that affects us, I have to address it with our business. We have to change things up. It's just the way it does it. Royal, how many sales per day? Daily Refinement was criticizing your store, saying you were only selling 20 per day. Daily Refinement, Chris wouldn't have any idea or clue on how many I'm selling because you can't look at my store and see my sales. You can only see very few of them. Our items don't end, and then we delete many of them, so you can't see what we're selling. I've had somebody else tell me that on many occasions. You can't see our sales volume at all. I don't, if you want to try and judge it by feedback, most times, every day I do multiple quantities, and most times if a person buys 10 items, they only leave 1 feedback. So, I never would pay any attention, nor should I recommend anybody ever paying attention looking at what a store is supposedly selling versus what they are selling. You can't tell for the most part. Many of our items never show up. Many of our items don't even show up in sold listings. So just FYI. If you use the 0 quantity option, that affects what shows. If you delete them before they actually end the listing, that actually does matter too. So there is a way to stop it. And it's made so your competitors can't see what you're selling, because that way they could go in and skank you out and get your items before you can and undercut you. So you can't see what everybody sells. I don't know who thinks otherwise, but that's the reason that whole option was put into place, as well as so you don't have to create a new listing. You can just change the quantity. Let's see here. Jiminy Flip It, Marty. Basic store and up, you can bulk delete and bulk sell similar 200 at a time. Oh, well, basic store. There you go. Yeah, I don't care what. So we have 3 stores and we sell on multiple platforms, so I don't really care. So this must be the I will say Royal. We're just going to block him from the feed from now on. I'm sure this is one of the same people who bugged me on eBay, so we're just going to hide that one there too. I'm not going to deal with somebody who doesn't understand how things work or understand how people or sales happen. Let's see here. Bob, I did sell some 1/30th of my store today. Most have views 1 to 11. Most popular items have 4 to 11. 13 listings have 2 or more views. You're getting up there. I know I saw you said you had 1,000, so that was nice. Antique Guy, how are you doing? How do people sell comics on eBay with topless covers fully exposed? However, when I post one with this covered up approximate and it's technically non-adult content inside the pages, it gets taken off. You can't just cover it up. It has nothing to do with showing it. If it's adult content on comic books, eBay will take them down. I had 2 taken down myself. I even talked about that with Dom because there was no nudity or graphics in there, and it was by a known I don't want to grab my phone, but it's on my phone still because I sent him a screenshot of one of the ones they took down on me. If it says adult comics on there, I wouldn't list it on eBay even if you covered up. Even some of the items that you're allowed to list as adult items, or not as adult items, but as like pinup, I've still had people tell me that their items are still being reported and eBay is still taking them down, even though eBay told them they could list them. So, that's just my take on there. I don't list any adult comics on eBay at all anymore. I stopped because of that. After they took 2 down, I was done. Yeah, Candace, it'll be nice. No more thumbs down. It will be Wednesday. They start slow rolling out the removal of all thumbs down on every video going forward. You know what's brought it on? The most thumb down video in YouTube history is a YouTube video, one that they did themselves. So I don't think they were happy about that. Wiki domain just ended and sold similar 450 listings prior to 1012 and cha-ching. Old listings started selling, getting more views and offers. It does work, I'm telling you, for a lot of people. Question, I listed the VHS for $900 in an auction and I accepted an offer for $1,600, yet the sold listing says it sold for $900. Offers do not show up. It doesn't show you an offer price. You still can look, though. If you look at the page code, you can see what it actually sold for still. I think they changed the terminology they use in the script itself, but you can still look at it. There's an app that'll do that, too, if you didn't know. Angelo, I know a few female resellers that get thumbs down on the video before it even starts. I get those too. It's the same person. One person does, he must have 3 accounts and he does it because we can always tell. And it's somebody who follows us on one of our Facebooks too, because if we don't post it on Facebook, they don't pop up like that. But the minute we do, like 20 minutes later, those same 3 are always there. It'll be nice to have them gone, but from a seller from my point of view as the YouTuber channel owner, I don't even see those. The only way I see how many thumbs down a video gets is if I click on that video. I got to go back in and do it. So I don't even look at them. Once the video is up, I never have to go. Why would I go back and look at the video? So I never go back. So I never even see them. We don't even see them. The only time I ever even see a thumbs down is on the live shows, only because it's sitting in front of my face. Most channels in general don't even look at them at all. All it does is maybe steer 1 or 2 people away at the very most to say, hey, well, maybe the video is not so good. But if the ratio's 97 to percent all positive, that means nothing to anybody looking. It's when they dive bomb. I know Dom got hit by some person who was booted, and they bombed his channel. YouTube removes most all of those too, but going forward, it'd be nice just not to ever have to worry about that. It'll just. In fact, that means they must be pulling it out of the main search criteria on YouTube, would be my guess. Again, it's never, if you get a bunch of thumbs down, it doesn't mean it's not going to promote it. It doesn't change who sees or where they promote the video to for the most part, unless it's like, 100 to 1. You got 100 negatives to 1 positive. That might be a different story, but let me pop on down. Ryan, it sure as hell doesn't feel like fourth quarter to me. So slow on my end. If I wasn't doing self-similar, I would probably say the same thing. I can't draw myself to give eBay any money for promoted listings, truthfully. If you're selling oddball, unique, different items, it's just going to take the right person on. It doesn't matter how much quantity or what. It's just going to take the right person online to do it, you know? We've got many stores, and I run tests on one store versus another store all the time. We might do 2,000 one way in one store and 2,000 another way in another store in the same category, same niches. There's a lot of differences in just your store in general that eBay can hold you back against and stuff like that. Just like having to do with self-similar in the first place. Why wouldn't eBay just make it so all that information starts over so it's fresh for everybody when they auto-relist in the first place, unless their whole point of doing it is to put a need for you to just do promoted listings. It'll be easier. You won't have to click all this. You won't have to do that. And you know, I see that's the only outcome. And what they want is that they want us to do promoted listings, to give up. You're not getting sales. I've got no other choice. I better do promoted listings because if I don't, I'm not going to get the sales. It's very obvious. That's what they want, I think. Again, my opinion, but that's what I think. I think they really want. Harley Kitten. I did the self-similar work, so I've been going through my listings for over 2 weeks and updating them, and I've made multiple sales on older items. Yeah, I don't use my phone for anything, so I can't say on that. Hey, Dave, Midwest Picker, another fellow channel in the house. Thanks for stopping in there. Dave's got some pretty good videos out there as well. Tactical Z, my sales have never been better. My sales are fine right now, I have to say. I can't complain on sales-wise right this minute because they have been very, very good, in all honesty. Hobbit House. What listing sites do you use? I need to pick up other platforms, but I list too slow. We've got an Etsy account. I've got a Walmart account. Amazon, obviously, HIP. I've got a Dell Camp now. I've got a Dell Camp one. I've got all 3 HIPs. I only have stuff on one HIP as of now, but I do have accounts set up on all of them. Where else? I know I'm missing something else. Discogs. I'm on a few other ones. There's a few smaller niche sites too that I do. There's a button site that I've sent some buttons in just recently too, because they do sell buttons there, and the prices are usually higher than on eBay. But there's a lot of other places you can sell on, believe it or not. And like Dell Camps is one I'm going to invest some more time into too. Just after I looked at the numbers compared to eBay, it's probably bigger than eBay in some categories, which is pretty good, you know. I think they got 68 million or 69 million just postcards on the platform, and you can sell anything you want on the site pretty much. We're going to end it here in just a minute here. The old man's picks doing self-similar drafting and listing while listening. Yeah, if I ever I listened to one of Dom's the other day, and that's like the first video of somebody else's I've gotten a chance. It was in the background. I'll usually be doing something while I'm doing it. I don't like to do edit videos, but oh yeah, for patrons, because I noticed there's quite a few patrons in house. I did put a new video up today, and it was because of several people's questions. I originally hadn't planned on doing it. It's on shipping issues. Somebody who was doing free shipping accepted an offer, and again, I'm fine to say this. I'm not going to give their name out. They said it was fine to talk about it. They sold an item for an offer. They needed the money coming in. Their sales were dead. They just wanted some money coming in. They accepted the offer and weren't thinking very well on how much it would cost to ship. It was a heavy item. They ended up losing money on the item because of that. So if you're doing free shipping, make sure you understand the cost. Always think about the shipping cost. Don't think about they didn't do free shipping on all items. So it was something they sporadically do. So they were thinking, oh, shipping will be something else, and they totally messed up on that. And I've had 3 or 4 people, and then another one have another issue just in the last 2 weeks on doing similar items. Newer folks, but still, I did those mistakes before too. I've messed up on shipping. And that's what the video goes into, honestly. And I think it'll be helpful. I basically break down how we figure out weights for anything we do in that video. But Angela, 3 weeks ago I went to a Russian Orthodox church for a fall festival open house. They had a bunch of free books and icons on a table, so I grabbed a few. Sold one of the books for $575 out of print. I do the same thing at the university. Right after a session's done, a lot of the professors will set out books on a table. I've got a parking permit and stuff, and we're alumni, so I've got permission to be on campus and all that. But I've got a card even, so, and I've got my ID still valid. But there's places like that that are very good. There's a Russian Orthodox church here that I've went to a few times. And a Greek one that we've gotten stuff from too as well. Church sales are always good, always good. We actually there's a Greek church downtown here in Toledo that I've volunteered, and we helped for. My kids did the robotics team here. Dana did the robotics team, and we volunteered so they could be in the program and stuff. And they helped us out, and they've given us stuff too. I've gotten some books and stuff there too. But that kind of place is good, especially when they have the sales. You never know what's going to come in. The icons I definitely have grabbed up for sure. Last time I did that in university, I pretty much filled up a whole seat in my car of free books. I actually had to take 2 trips back out. You know, I didn't expect to find a whole bunch of, professor editions, teacher editions of college books that were still valid. So usually when a college book's more than, a few years old, 2 years old, they've already moved on to the next edition, and then no one's going to want the older editions because the professor is going to be a stickler on having the most recent edition. So Tracy Thalson, how are you doing? Yeah, I agree. It's a complete waste of time. I don't think we should have to waste time. I think eBay should just automatically fix it so the listings are fresh every month. End of story. The only reason, again, in my opinion, is that they want us to pay for promoted listings. It's the only thing that makes sense. Why else would you not? Why else would when it says sell it quicker, the first option is promoted listings? Sell similar isn't even wedged into that little drop-down menu. Sell similar is a whole different entity in and of itself. The sell similar worked far better for us than anything else. I haven't done a promoted listings in maybe close to 2 years now, and I don't see any sense in doing them at this point. I'm fine with the sales. I'd rather make a little less money off of eBay and get it somewhere else than pay them to promote my listings when it should already be shown. I mean, it's ridiculous that we have to pay to be shown. Well, they don't have to show us, but it's ridiculous that you have to pay to get your stuff on the site, and then you got to pay again just for them to show your items on the site. The model just isn't going to be a workable model. I don't do that on Amazon. I mean, yeah, you can pay, but I've never had to. They don't bury my older listings that I'm aware of on Amazon. I still sell them. Let's see here. Let me pop on down. Yeah, we're going to end it in just a minute here. I'm at the mark right now. Doing it wrong, saying everybody who's slow movers is having an issue. Everybody who's selling fast-moving products are fast-moving products. I mean, you define the name of it just by stating that. Long tail items, if they're not shown, aren't going to be able to be sold. That's why some items are volume. You have to have volume to make it work, and other items you don't. I wouldn't say it's the fast movers, so to speak. It's the hot items. It's what people are. It's what's in hot demand. Again, that goes back to eBay hiding stuff. Why would they hide something? If relisting as sell similar didn't work, let me put it this way. If you have to do it and you have to do sell similar and you sell some of those items, that proves without a doubt that eBay hiding them was hindering a buyer from finding them in the first place. If I'm able to sell some by doing sell similar every time I do it, eBay isn't giving the buyer what they want. If they were sellable the minute I did that, and they weren't if I didn't do it, that just means eBay doesn't know the difference between a viable item and a non-viable item. They're just basing it on a date or some arbitrary figure or number or scheme or whatever that means nothing in the overall scheme of things. If my items were always visible, I would have been selling a lot more items because they would have been visible since after the 12th. If that makes any sense. But I think we'll cut it off here. I'm at the 1.5 hour mark. I try not to go over that. I do appreciate everybody who came on tonight. Again, I try to answer them as I go through them. I know I don't get to all of them, but I guess early bird gets the worm. First in, if you've got a question, usually gets answered first, and we'll go from there. I do have another video ready. Again, there is a new video on Patreon. I've answered everything. There's a whole bunch of emails I responded. There was several folks who posted images for help on pricing, IDing, and entitling. Answered everybody on there. So I probably will not be back on tomorrow on Patreon. I do have a few other things going on. Next week, I think there will be another live show on Patreon in the middle week, maybe Wednesday or something too. So for those in Patreon, that's what you got going on. In the video I posted today, I already said what the next video is going to be. You'll see step by step into a whole other area. Got a lot of questions on that. So for print ads is the next one. So I do thank everybody for coming on, and I do hope, honestly, your sales pick up if they are bad. Try the self-similar. I get nothing for you trying it. It may just get you a few sales is all. But I hope you all have a good day. Enjoy the weekend and have some fun.